Hello, and welcome to Back to School Night with Mr. Walsh. I am Mr. Walsh. This is pre-calculus. I have two pre-calculus classes. So if you're watching this, your child is either in period 2 or period 8. If they are in period 2, I have a co-teacher, and her name is Miss Finney. Miss Finney is great. However, Miss Finney and I could not coordinate a time to make a video together before our videos were due to the fact that teachers are a little bit overwhelmed trying to change our entire profession into virtual. So we're doing our best. So Miss Finney, while you won't see her right now, she is around for period 2, and Miss Finney is wonderful. Me and Miss Finney work together, and I've known her for a few years now. So I'm excited to teach with her this year. Period 8, unfortunately, you don't have Miss Finney with you, but I promise I'll make the best class I can without her. My goal tonight is just for you to get to know me a little bit and to experience a little bit of my Canvas class. And what you'll see on the screen right now is my Canvas page. In fact, I'll put it in the student view so that you can see exactly what a student would see. So when you go into my Canvas page, you'll see this, and it starts with the announcements at the top. These are announcements that I can make to students. And it goes directly to their email, I believe. Canvas is new to me as much as it is to your child. But I believe it does go right to their emails so they can see all of the updates. You'll see my latest update was a change in the grading policy. I sent it at 6 a.m. I'm sorry for the early announcement. That is midday for me, 6 a.m. So let's walk through my Canvas page a little bit and show you some of the important things. So introduction to pre-calculus, about your teacher. That's me. I am the teacher. I am Mr. Walsh. Again, if it's period 2, then it's Mr. Walsh and Miss Finney. But here I am. My email is ryanwalsh@princetonk12.org. We have been instructed this year to enforce our new strict district email policy, which says that if a student would like to email us, it needs to be through their district email, which is first initial last name at princetonk12.org. If a student email comes in on their personal email, I'm not allowed to respond to it. Okay. And a little bit about me. I am from Rider. I went to Rider University down the street in Lawrence, which seems like ages ago. I've been here since 2015. This is my 6th year at Princeton High School. I've also been the boys assistant soccer coach since 2015. Again, my 6th year. And I am the math team supervisor. So if anyone in pre-calculus is interested in math team, whether they want to compete on the math team or they just want to have fun at the math team game night, they should come talk to me and we can get them hooked up with the math team captains. So if you hit home, you'll go back to the home screen. This is the home screen, which is just all of our modules listed out. Okay. Below my About Your Teacher, you will see my Zoom link. If you click on the Zoom link, you will see my Zoom link. Here it is. And you will see Miss Finney's, for those of you in period 2, this is Miss Finney's Zoom link because we work closely together. Below that is office hours schedule. Office hours are super important because during virtual teaching, and I believe hybrid too, once we eventually go to hybrid, teachers only see their students for a mandatory 2 hours a week, right? We have 2 classes a week, 1 hour each class, therefore 2 hours a week, which is a lot less than what it was last year when we were, pre-COVID days. So office hours are important. They allow it for a student to come see me in usually small groups, ask questions, or just to chat about anything that they want. If they want to chat math, we can chat math. If they want to chat about the Steelers, I would love to chat about the Steelers or sports in general. So my office hours are on this schedule. I have 2 sets of office hours. The first set is not during soccer season. However, We are currently in soccer season. Soccer goes until the middle of November. So you're going to follow the schedule below where it says soccer season office hours. My office hours are always on Fridays at the moment, and they're for 2 hours. So I will be sitting here on Zoom like I am, just waiting for kids to join my Zoom class and ask me questions. So I really encourage the students to hop on my Zoom during office hours for multiple reasons. One, to keep me company. I don't want to sit here alone on Zoom. And two, it just makes sure that the students are not falling behind in class. Once soccer ends, I will be following the top office hour schedule, which is smaller, shorter spurts of office hours, but more frequently throughout the week. So you'll see Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, as opposed to just Fridays. Okay. If you go back to our homepage, it will bring you back to all of our modules. And you'll see, if you scroll down through all of our modules, you'll see where we are. Currently, we're talking about polynomials. We had a couple of math reviews. I really strongly encourage you to play around my Canvas, click around, see if it, see all the cool things that are happening on my Canvas page. But I'm going to take you to the pre-calculus virtual syllabus. And we're going to just talk briefly about this syllabus. I'm not going to read you every word because I know you guys can read this on your own time. The important part of this is just describing how virtual learning works, because virtual learning is different than learning pre-COVID. Now, historically, you would come to my classroom and you would watch a lesson or interact with the lesson, and then you would go home and you would do homework. And then you would come back into class and we would reflect and confer, and then eventually you would have an assessment, right? So the 4 parts to learning: the watch, the do, the confer or reflect, and then the assess. Now, those are the same 4 steps to virtual learning as well, because we're still learning. However, we're gonna flip the watch and the do section. Okay, what does that mean? Well, for homework, students used to do practice problems. Now, typically, a homework will be for a student to watch a pre-recorded lesson made by yours truly, Mr. Walsh. So I will pre-record a lesson. Students can watch it, take notes, pause it, rewind it, replay it, go as fast or as slow as they would like, and they'll be prepared for class. Then when they come into my Zoom class, they will be doing practice problems, very similar to how they would be doing homework problems at home, but now we're going to be in our Zoom class. They'll be in breakout rooms, we'll be doing activities, practice problems, exit slips, do nows, things like that, to make sure that every student is practicing the craft or the lesson or the skill that they learned in the pre-recorded lesson for homework. After we do the do section in class, we'll then confer and reflect. We'll meet in small groups. We'll talk about our work. We'll check our answer with the answer key. And then finally, I will assess the students, whether that is a mini quiz, a big quiz, a presentation, a chapter test, anything of that nature will be an assessment. So it's the watch, do, confer, assess. However, the watching is now going to be the homework and the doing will be in class. It's called a flipped classroom. And virtually it's the best way to teach and learn. Okay. Which brings me to my grading policy. If you look at the announcements, you'll see that I had a recent change in grading policy. The math department has a new grading policy that follows the 4 steps to virtual learning. Watching will be 10% of your grade. Okay, and that means that interacting with the lesson, taking notes, submitting your notes, doing the discussion questions or mini quizzes that go along with the lesson, that's all part of watching the lesson and interacting with it. Then you have the do section, which happens in class. Your in-class activities, your in-class breakout rooms, your in-class practice problems, that's all part of the do. Then you have the confer, the small groups, interactions with me, maybe I'll ask you questions verbally to have you answer. maybe I'll have you just present the problem to me. These are all part of the confer, and that's 15% of your grade. And the last part is assess, which is 55% of your grade, which is, the quizzes, the tests, the presentations, I could ask you to write an essay for me if I wanted to. And those are all part of the assessment grade. Okay, so we have 4 sections, and that is how these are 4 different categories for your grade. At the end of the day, it will be broken down into these 4 categories. Okay. If you go back to my home, you'll see again all the modules and everything that we're working on and all the activities. You can go to the calendar and you can see, if you go to calendar, you can see what is due and what was due. So this is last week, and now this is this week. So you can see what's coming up and kind of keep your child on pace with the class if you think they're falling behind. Yeah. So I know that this year is strange, right? We're working with a new learning management system. Right? We used PowerSchool last year, and now we're using Canvas. Personally, as I've gotten the hang of Canvas, I think Canvas is great, and I hope the students will learn to love Canvas as much as I do now. But it's also a strange year because, well, I'm teaching on my computer. So my goal this year for all of my classes is just to make sure that the students find some sort of enjoyment in class every day. They're able to laugh at something or connect with someone. We all kind of need that social and emotional connection right now, especially after a rough, 6-7 months at this point. So that's kind of that's my goal for all my classes, is to make sure that we feel connected, to make sure that we are enjoying class a little bit, we're enjoying every day. And if I can get that out of my students, and they learn some math, of course, I'm going to find that a successful year. Okay. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at ryanwalsh@princetonk12.org. I will be happy to answer them. Or we can set up a meeting and we can chat over Zoom or over the phone, whatever you like. But I encourage you to go onto my Canvas page, play around with it. Let me know if you think something is confusing. Because if it's confusing to you, it might be confusing to your child as well. So it's new for me, it's new for the students. So I'll be happy to change something if you think something is a little bit confusing. So reach out to me, and I hope to see you all in person soon. All right. Have a great night.